The baby in the car seat had a purplish face, but when questioned by the female officer, the woman claimed the baby was fine. However, her stiff smile and the bloodstains on her hands clearly showed something was wrong. The officer politely asked her to get out of the car, then immediately cuffed her. The woman kept pretending to be confused. The officer rushed to the back seat and found the baby struggling to breathe, face turning purple. She quickly called for emergency services, and the baby was taken to the ambulance. Paramedics said the baby was less than an hour old. Even the umbilical cord hadn't been fully cut. More suspiciously, police found a fake pregnancy belly in the trunk. All signs pointed to one thing: this woman was not the baby's mother. And the blood on her hands made it even more disturbing. Despite questioning, the woman insisted she was the baby's real mom. Just then, the emergency center received a distress call. A pregnant woman said someone had cut open her belly and stolen her baby. Before she could give her location, she passed out from blood loss. The call only gave a rough location. The only clue: sirens could be heard in the background. The officer followed the location to a park and was talking to a staff member when a siren was heard nearby. It came from a children's train not far away. She and the fire captain followed the sound and spotted a parked car hidden nearby. The woman might be inside. Firefighters pried open the trunk and found a woman lying in a pool of blood. The scene was terrifying, but she still had a pulse. Firefighters rushed her to the hospital. The officer picked up the phone in the car. After learning the woman was alive, the dispatcher finally breathed a sigh of relief. Thanks to emergency treatment, both the woman and the baby survived. I mean, how could she actually perform a forced C-section and steal a baby in broad daylight? Isn't that just way too insane? There is an ancient legend: never hit crows with stones, otherwise great terror will be brought. Two naughty kids didn't believe it. They insisted on testing how terrifying it was. Tens of thousands of crows swarmed in, launching a violent attack on them. The kids cried out and fled desperately, but they still accidentally fell.
911, what's your emergency?
The birds! They're going crazy! They're attacking the children!
When the rescue team arrived after receiving the alarm, the two kids had already hidden in a barn. But despairingly, countless crows were monitoring outside, guarding every corner tightly. The firefighters advanced cautiously, afraid that big movements would anger the crows and cause indiscriminate attacks. Fortunately, the journey was full of frights but no dangers. The group safely reached the barn. Who threw stones was miserable, pecked all over by crows. The good news was that they were all superficial wounds, just needed simple bandaging to stop the bleeding. But now the problem was how to retreat from the barn. He glanced out the window and found crows in groups, staring fixedly at every exit. We know crows are smart. They are the most vengeful animals, able to remember enemies for 20 years. Then the captain had an idea. Soon they walked out of the barn, wrapping the boy's face with gauze. Another boy also put on a fireman's uniform, hoping to deceive the crows. As they got closer to the ambulance, suddenly a crow flew over. Everyone's heart rose to their throats. Had they still been detected? Seeing the crows still judging, he told his teammates to retreat quickly. While he stayed to deal with the crow, he broke a Snickers bar into pieces and gently threw it to the ground. Unexpectedly, it worked. While the crow was foraging, he quickly slipped away. The boy was successfully taken to the hospital, but he suddenly had a feeling. He looked back. That crow had actually followed the ambulance to the hospital. Do you think it came to thank him for feeding it, or to see through the firefighters' plan? How cool is driverless driving? The old man shows off to his wife, hands off the steering wheel. Feet can be placed wherever desired. His wife tells him to calm down. The old man suddenly feels a numbness in his arm. Then he has difficulty breathing. His chest hurts badly. It feels like a heart attack. His wife tells him to pull over immediately, but he chooses to trust the driverless system. After setting the navigation to the nearest hospital, the car automatically exits the highway. His wife quickly dials 911.
My husband's having a heart attack. He's in his car on the way to the hospital, but I think he's passed out.
Are you in the car with him?
No, I'm at home.
Then who's driving the car?
You have arrived at your destination.
The rescue team quickly arrives at the hospital, pulls the old man out of the car, and hands him over to the medical staff. But the rescue isn't over yet. They quickly remove the car door. A doctor is tightly pinned down.
You hanging in there, Doc?
Just a couple of fractured ribs, maybe in multiple places.
Can you tell if you're bleeding?
Just some blunt force trauma. Yay.
This is truly a case of sitting in the hospital, disaster strikes from the sky. Firefighters quickly push the car away, move the flattened table, and carry the unlucky doctor onto a stretcher. When they turn around, the medical staff are already on standby. This might be the fastest hospital admission ever. Two boys were arguing in the back seat. The mother heard them and turned around to stop them, but almost crashed into a large truck coming from the opposite direction. If something had happened, should the blame fall on the kids or the mother? The family narrowly escaped disaster. After surviving the danger, the three of them laughed for a while. Only then did the mother calm down and continue driving. But suddenly, the ground collapsed. The car fell straight off the cliff. Rescue teams quickly arrived at the scene. They used safety ropes to rappel down, soon reaching the spot where the car had fallen. The woman had passed out from the impact, but her vital signs were stable. The boys in the back seat were also unharmed. Truly a stroke of luck and misfortune. Firefighters began to secure the vehicle, but just as they hooked the steel cable, the car started sliding. The steel rope creaked loudly, barely keeping the car hanging in midair. No one knew how much longer it could hold. Worse yet, the edge of the cliff was still collapsing. The captain realized the ground was too soft. He ordered the ambulance to leave and all unnecessary equipment to be moved away to reduce the weight on the cliffside. Meanwhile, firefighters below raced against time, quickly repositioning themselves for the rescue. In this life and death moment, the older brother asked the firefighters to save his younger brother first. After seeing his brother rescued, he asked them to save their mother next. He said the younger brother was only 9 and couldn't live without their mom. It's said that true feelings show in hard times. Though the brothers always fought, at this critical moment, the older brother proved he loved his sibling the most. After the mother was also rescued, it was finally the older brother's turn. But just then, a large section of the cliff began to collapse. The captain ordered everyone to prepare to abandon the car. Through the radio, he loudly called on the firefighter below to come up immediately. Not a second could be wasted. After getting a signal from below, a teammate cut the cable with one strike. The car instantly dropped into the abyss. The ground finally stopped collapsing. The family of 3 was safe. It was a truly breathtaking day.
You're taking care of each other.
A teenage boy drives a limited edition supercar at a speed of 160 km/h, recklessly speeding on the highway. 4 police cars follow closely behind, shouting at him to pull over. The boy is so anxious that sweat pours down his face. It's not that he doesn't want to stop, but he simply can't. The gearbox is completely out of control. Although he isn't pressing the gas pedal, the speed increases instead of decreasing. The emergency center operator tells him to shift to neutral, but the gear shift lever is ineffective, unable to perform the gear shifting operation. The operator then tells him to try the brakes. But when the boy slams on the brakes, the sports car begins to shake violently. The speed can only drop to 110. The speed is too high, can't force a stop by side-slipping. Want to use a spike belt, but fear. If the tires aren't spiked correctly, it could directly cause a fatal crash. The operator suggests hitting the green belt, but for a 15-year-old boy without a driver's license, it's hard to expect him to hit it accurately. The policewoman has a sudden idea. If hitting a small target doesn't work, then aim for a bigger one. The fire brigade receives the news and deploys urgently. They plan to use a fire truck to force the limited edition supercar to stop. The operator immediately tells the boy to exit at the next highway intersection, where the fire truck will meet him. Soon, the boy exits the highway. The fire truck gets into position. The operator starts to intervene with commands, telling the boy to apply the brakes gently, avoid sudden braking, control the steering wheel even if the car shakes, and report the speed to her at all times. Watching the speed gradually decrease, it soon reaches 110 km/h, the limit of what the brakes can control. In an instant, the fire truck turns into the avenue. The operator reminds the boy not to panic. Aim for the rear of the fire truck. As the distance between the vehicles closes in, the operator yells to pull the handbrake and crash into the fire truck.
Pull the parking brake and hit that truck.
What?
Hit the truck!
After the firefighters force the car to stop, they quickly jump out to rescue the boy. The boy only sustains minor injuries, needing hospital follow-up checks. The firefighters inspect the supercar and find a loose clutch with the gear shift lever completely broken. After this near-death experience, the boy will probably never dare to drive again.